Now, one of the causes of accident in Nigeria is the use of mobile phones, and the Federal Road Safety Corps is issuing a stern warning to motorists to desist from the act to avoid this ugly trend. I have joining me in the studio the Lagos Sector Commander, FRSC, Olusegun Ogungbemide. Good to have you join us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
So it is not uncommon to see drivers and motorists, taking calls in their cars. I mean, that's a common scene or sight one sees these days. But we also know that Section 10, subsection 4 of the FRSC Establishment Act prescribes receiving calls as an offense and is liable to, I think, about 4,000 naira and 6 months in jail.
Exactly.
So why do we continue to find that, even with all of this strict law against it, people tend to, use it without any form of idea that it is an offense?
Thank you very much. I will rather attribute it to the measures of impunity that we have all over the places. Because when we look at the rate at which crashes are occurring on Nigerian roads, you attribute the use of phone to be one of the major causes, in as much as it's quite very difficult for us to attach it, because you can hardly pin them down while using the phone. And by virtue of the mischievousness of some of the road users, as long as you don't have the evidence, they tend to contend it. And you know what the law says, you must be able to show the evidence. So it's now between you and the offender. But despite all this, we have been arresting them and we've been taking them to mobile courts. And we are faced with the problem of trying to convince Nigerians on the rationale behind this conduct or the effects on Nigerian roads. I want to believe it's a continuous one and we'll still get there.
But are you also limited in enforcement? Because this act has been there, this law has been there since 2007. And a lot of people receive calls without even worrying that they might be arrested. So is there also limitations when it comes to enforcement?
We don't have any limitation per se. And I also want to confirm that if you come to our office and check the records right from inception, you also agree with me that we have larger number of people that have been arrested. And I do wonder at times when Nigerians don't want to learn from antecedents. We have two categories of use of phones. We have the one that are internal distractions and the one that are external. When we talk of internal distractions, many of them do use the phone while in the vehicle, picking the phone to use while driving. While the external is when calls come from outside and they also attempt to pick. And our men are stationed. In the course of our daily activities, we've realized the shortcomings as regards the enforcement of this particular law because of the litigations that do come with it. And we've also upped our games that we should make every effort that is required to make sure we have evidence. The Corps Martial has directed that our men should go to any larger extent that is required to show evidence. So don't be surprised that when you see our men coming towards you, you are already pictured. So
beyond just, prosecuting offenders, this is first about saving lives.
Yes.
And we know that just only about 10% of accidents are caused by mechanical faults.
Sure.
We understand that 90% are caused by human error. So what can people do, especially because there are cars where the drivers are taking calls or using their phones, and you have passengers who really don't see anything. So what can people do to ensure that, one person's mistake doesn't become, cost another person their life?
I've said it severally. When it comes to issue of road safety on our road, it's everybody's business. And we've come up with series of programs, Operation Speak Out, especially in commercial vehicles. When you are being driven by a driver that is making calls while driving, it's your responsibility as a commuter inside that vehicle to speak out and express yourself. You can't just leave it to FRSC. We are standing by the roadside. We are mobile. When the man cites FRSC, the tendency for him to quickly drop the phone is always there, which I would rather say you are deceiving yourself, not even FRSC. And if you look at an average road users, even all of us put together, even the people that are listening, even the elites, the enlightened ones, they still find it difficult to operate or drive without making use of the phone. So it's not just a problem that is limited to categories of people, both commercial and private. If you picked 100 vehicles on Nigerian roads today, you can be so assured that 80% of those vehicles have their drivers making call behind the steering. And we all know the implication of this.
Because of our time, we have to go. But I just want to quickly also confirm that even using earpiece is also an offense.
It's also an offense because the problem is the message that coming to you from the phone.
Lagos Sector Commander, FRSC, Olusegun Kumbemide, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.